What's up, guys? Welcome to Strength Side. Today we're going to be learning the Turkish Get Up. Now, the Turkish Get Up is a great exercise for strength, mobility. It gets you moving through all ranges of motion, you have to actually stabilize within all ranges of motion to get all the way up standing overhead from the ground. Now, also, I like to use it as a warm-up. A lot of the times, if I'm short on time, or say I have a client come in who's running late, we'll just get on the ground and do Turkish get-ups as our warm-up, nothing else. So let's go ahead and learn how to do it. So let's have Josh go ahead and do a full Turkish get-up so we kind of see the idea of it, and then we're going to break it down step by step for you. Okay, go ahead, Josh. Make sure you emphasize each stage of the pattern here. Great. He did an awesome job. So one thing I want you to notice about the Turkish get-up is we want to emphasize each position. So he actually paused in each stage. And what I also want you to notice is that on the way down, if you were to just take a snapshot, you wouldn't know if he was on his way up or his way down. So it should mirror itself. Okay? So the first stage of the Turkish get-up is the sit up to the elbow. Okay, so we'll have Josh. The starting position is same knee up as the kettlebell. So he's got his knee up. Ideally, we want the legs a little further apart here, so we'll angle out just slightly, and you'll see why in a little bit. So he's going to sit up to his opposite elbow, and so you'll see what that looks like. He's going to sit straight forward, slightly to the side, and up to that elbow. Okay. So notice, he has his eyes on the kettlebell the entire time. And if you're learning this without a weight, it won't seem as important, but his hand is directly above his shoulder, and he's pushing through that shoulder to try and reach up to the ceiling. Okay? So you're never sinking into that shoulder and being lazy. It's always actively pressing out and stabilizing. Okay? Also, same with that opposite shoulder. He's not sinking in. He's actually driving out to the ground. Go ahead and relax for a sec. Okay. He's getting tired there. I don't want to tire him out too early. Okay, so the next step is from there, from the elbow, we're going to prop up on the hand. And the same thing, driving out against the ground, driving up against that kettlebell. Go for it. Up to the elbow. Good. Up to the hand. Good. And come back, down, elbow, and back to the ground. Good. So when you're learning this, the way I like to teach it is we'll go through each stage, and I'll just have you do 5 sit-ups to the elbow first. Then we'll do 5 sit-ups to the elbow, to the hand, back down, and we'll just progress it like that. Okay? The next step is the bridge. Okay? So go ahead and go to your hand again, up to the elbow, up to the hand. Good. Now what we'll have Josh do here is bridge on this leg that the knee was bent. Bridge up. Good. And he's got a good stable position here. He's putting almost all of his weight on this leg because we're going to have to move this leg eventually. So he's going to have to stabilize here. Okay? Come back down, sit down, back to the elbow, back to the hand. Good. Okay. So the next step is we're going to bring this leg through. Okay? So you'll see what happens. Up to the elbow, up to the hand, bridge, and bring that leg through, and pause. Okay, what I want you to notice in this position is this leg and this leg are perpendicular. They make a right angle. Okay, that's important because right here, the next step he's gonna actually rock back into this hip and create a hip hinge out of this left hip and pop up. Boom. Okay, so one mistake we'll see people make is bring this foot back over, come down, is not sit back, and they'll want to just come straight up like a windmill, straight up. That's okay if you have no weight or a small amount of weight. But once we start loading this fairly heavy, you're not going to be able to do that. So practice it now. Sit back in the hip and sit up. Hip hinge, okay? Cool. We can just go ahead and do the next step right away. So his leg was here. From here, we're going to swivel this back foot over behind. This position looks really familiar. Now we're in a split squat. Go ahead and stand up, lunge forward. There it is, okay? Now notice his eyes are not on the kettlebell anymore. Through all the stages until he came up to that kneeling position, his eyes were on the kettlebell. Once we get to the kneeling, the eyes can come forward and we can reach up to the ceiling above the head, okay? All right, let's come back down, each step by step, nice and slow. Hit each position. Good, bring the leg through, sit down, elbow, and back down. Okay, try that out on your own. Really recommend the Turkish Get Up as it's one of my favorite exercises of all time. You got anything else to say, Josh?
Maybe start with no weight.
Yeah.
4 to 5 pounds.
You don't need a weight to start. What I like to do with a lot of my clients is just have them start with a 2.5 pound little plate. So not even a kettlebell. Something very light, just so you get used to actually having to do a little bit of stabilization with the shoulder, but you don't even need that.
Good.
Cool.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.